Today is August 25, 2025. My name is Rob Carr of Kalamazoo Right to Life, and this is Pro-Life Week. Well, a few things today. First off, I'll be reading part of the program today, part of the news. Tennessee Right to Life announced a few days ago that their state is reporting 0 abortions in the whole state. 0. In the recent past, 1,000 abortions were performed every month in Tennessee. Roughly 12,000 abortions per year in this very conservative state. So let's back up. Back in 2019, the state legislature, obviously controlled by pro-life Republicans, passed the Human Life Protection Act. However, it could not really take effect because Roe v. Wade was still the law of the land. But it was passed with the idea that if Roe was going to be overturned, Tennessee was going to have a bill in place, ready to go. And that actually is exactly what happened on June 24th, 2022, when the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade in the Dobbs decision. And a few months later, on August 25th, actually, today's the third anniversary, so on August 25th, the Tennessee law, the Human Life Protection Act, took effect. And the number of abortions fell drastically to the point where no abortions are being performed in the state. Now, admittedly, there probably are chemical abortions being done, but surgical abortions, they are gone. They are gone. And that is great news. The New York Times reported just a few days ago the results of a study of voter registrations in 30 states that require voters to pick a party of their choice when registering to vote. Now, obviously, when you vote, you can vote for any party you want. I mean, socialist, communist, green, libertarian, Democrat, Republican, you can vote any way you want. But for the purposes of registration, there are 30 states that require a new voter to identify he's going to be registering as a Republican or as a Democrat. Okay. So in those 30 states, Democrats have lost 2 million voters between 2020 and 2024, while Republicans have gained 2.4 million voters in those 30 states. In Pennsylvania, there were 515 more registered Democratic voters in 2020. By 2025, that number has whittled down to a Democratic lead of only 53,000 voters. North Carolina, Democrats had a 400,000 lead over Republicans in registrations in 2020. This year, Democrats are leading Republicans by less than 17,000 voters. So there's a big shift going on here. Does this mean that there are more pro-lifers who never voted are now registering to vote? Perhaps. That very well could be happening. But there are many reasons why voters have become disillusioned with the Democratic Party. Radical progressive policies, transgender boys playing in girls' sports, abortion up to the final trimester, illegal immigration is Jim Dandy, support Hamas over Israel, or at least a dramatic rise in anti-Semitism on liberal college campuses, waving Palestinian flags, burning Israeli flags. There's just a lot of anti-Semitism going on among liberals. Kamala Harris was a disaster as a candidate. And the party has no real leader as it gets closer to next year's midterm election. Now, it's true, if history is any indicator, the party out of power will gain in the midterms, which favors the Democrats. But the Democratic Party's got so many structural problems right now, it's hard to say if they're going to flip the House in 2026. I don't think they're going to take the Senate, but the House is another issue. Okay, another item. Saw another story that listed 6 positive pro-life victories. Number 1, Americans' growing discomfort with abortion. A 2023 Gallup poll showed that 55% of Americans oppose abortion in the second trimester, and 70% oppose abortion in the final trimester, the third trimester. 2, defunding Planned Parenthood on the federal level. And this, though, is an ongoing story. 3, defunding Planned Parenthood at the state level. There are more successes here. In June of this year, Supreme Court ruled in Medina versus Planned Parenthood South Atlantic that Medicaid, this is coming out of South Carolina, that Medicaid beneficiaries do not have an individual right to sue if their state excludes Planned Parenthood from Medicaid networks. And just last week, Oklahoma just passed a law defunding Planned Parenthood. All great stories. 4, more major setbacks for Planned Parenthood. In April 2025, the Trump administration began to withhold tens of millions of dollars in Title X family planning funds. 5, Planned Parenthood. Why am I harping on Planned Parenthood? But this has not been a good year for this abortion giant. So 5, Planned Parenthood has had 41 clinics close this year alone. And 6, Costco announced last week, and I mentioned this last week's Pro-Life Week, Costco announced last week that it will not sell the abortion pill. These are all great developments for the pro-life movement. So a bit of sad news on August 20th, James Dobson passed away at the age of 89. In 1977, Dobson founded Focus on the Family, and his radio program called Focus on the Family was aired on thousands of Christian radio stations for the next 25 to 30 years. He wrote dozens of books, including Dare to Discipline, Love Must Be Tough, The Strong-Willed Child, What Wives Wish Their Husbands Knew About Women, and many, many more. And Dobson was a huge pro-life advocate. I mean, he was there defending the sanctity of human life. So he will be missed, but he lived a long life defending the unborn. Okay, bit of housekeeping. If you go to our website, kazoortl.org, you can sign up for the March for Life. Sign up for Camels Who Right to Life's chartered bus ride to the March for Life in Lansing. Now, if you go onto our website, you'll see a notice for the March for Life. Click that, and that'll take you to another page that has a QR code. Click or scan the QR code, and you can register and pay for your ticket on our secure website. It's $20 per person and $50 up to $50 for a family, for like the whole family. Now, you'll note right next to the QR code, you'll see that it says Wednesday, November 6, 2025. That is incorrect. It's Thursday, November 6th. Thursday, November 6th. That is the day. So don't be confused. It's not on Wednesday. It's on Thursday. So if you are going to the March for Life, scan that QR code, save your seat. You don't want to wait too long and then find out that the bus is full, or maybe there's a second bus that's full, and you've missed out on that chance to ride the bus. So remember, go to the website kazoortl.org and sign up for the March for Life. With that, I'll let you go, and I'll see you next time.